In this video, I'm going to show you a few things that will make life a little easier as you set up your account and log in for the first time to reloading.slack.com. In my last video, I covered all sorts of reasons why this is going to be awesome, so I won't go over all that again. But in that video, I mentioned that in order to get an account, you have to receive an invitation. And in order for me to send you an invitation from within Slack, I need your email address. That has changed slightly, and it's even more simplified now. If you still need an account, I've posted a link in the description of this video, as well as in a pinned comment. Go to that link, and it will take you to a Slack page where you can request an account. You'll receive an email from Slack. Follow the directions in that email. Once you establish your account and begin to set up your profile, you'll be asked to enter your full name and display name. Just for your info, what you enter for full name is visible to other users. I entered loads of bacon for both full name and display name. If you enter your phone number, others will be able to see that as well. You can leave that blank. They'll also ask you to choose a password so you can sign in and out with ease. To access Slack, you can use a desktop web browser or download Slack's desktop or their mobile apps. A quick note for those of you using Android phones. The first thing you'll want to do is open the Slack app, go to the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, go to Settings, scroll down and go to Advanced, and then turn off the back button as Exits App option. Now for everyone, the first thing you're going to want to do once you get into Slack is set up or verify your profile. These steps are covered in this document right here, the Slack First Steps in the Admin Notes channel. But I'll walk you through it here as well. On a desktop, which I'm using here, you're going to go in the upper left-hand corner to Reloading, Profile and Account, and then over here you're going to use the Edit Profile button. If you're doing this from a mobile device, touch the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, then touch your display name, which will show up at the top of the menu here. And then select the button that says Edit Profile, or the little pencil-looking icon, depending on the type of mobile device you're using. Here you can see fields for full name, and again, FYI, that is visible to others. Display name, you can adjust your profile photo right here. The What I Do, again, this originally is designed for people from corporate type teams. You can put random things in here. I just ask that you don't put anything potentially offensive. The status here, don't really worry about that right now. You can adjust that later. And phone number. If you put something in here, other users will be able to see it. Once you're done entering in your information, go ahead and click Save Changes. Slack has a few navigation quirks, we'll call them. So let's do a quick run through the layout and highlights. It's easy once you get the hang of it. Let's start up here in the top right corner with the three dots. The first thing you see here is Your Files and then All Files. If you upload any files to Slack, pictures or documents or spreadsheets or anything, you'll find those here. The menu that's here will look a little bit different on mobile devices than it does the desktop. All files, you can search everyone's files, not just your own. Since we are using the free version of Slack, we are all together limited to 5 gigabytes of shared storage. So please don't upload any huge files. And fair warning, all files that you upload are at risk of being deleted at some point in order to free up space. One of the most used things here is going to be the workspace directory. On a mobile device, it's just called directory. On the desktop or the browser, it's called workspace directory. Selecting that will give you a directory of all of the users we have here. You can search, you can scroll through, you can find the other people that have accounts here, and you can see all of these people here are offline, but that little circle right there will be green if they're online. When you select a user here, you can see their profile and it gives you a few options. You can send a direct message to them, and you can see any other information that they've made public about themselves. This message here is what Slack calls a direct message. It's a private message between you and that other person, and nobody else in the system can see that message. The other things up here were help, what's new, and keyboard shortcuts. So explore that at your leisure. Let's go ahead and jump over here to the left-hand side of the screen. Over here, you see channels, and then if you scroll down, you'll see direct messages. Now, my side here is a lot more cluttered and crazy than what yours will be, but currently I'm subscribed to every channel here, so that's why that looks that way. And in a minute, I'll show you a way to take away all of that clutter. What you see listed here are individual channels. A channel in Slack is like a room for discussions. It's usually arranged around a topic of discussion. Every one of these is a separate channel. There are public channels, which everyone can see, and there are private channels, which can only be seen by the people that are currently joined to that private channel. Even administrators cannot see the private channels unless they are invited and joined to that private channel. Public channel names begin with this pound symbol or the hashtag, and private channels have a lock symbol in front of them, like these here. Channel names are only lowercase. They have a maximum of 21 characters, and they cannot include any spaces or most punctuation. So that's why these are typed up the way they are. So any channel names that you see over here on your screen are channels that you are currently a part of or currently joined to. There aren't any suggested channels. That's not really a thing in Slack. So if you see the name listed over here on the left-hand side, you're joined to that channel. By default, you're joined to certain channels when your account is created. And except for this one here, the admin notes, you can leave any of those channels and you are free to investigate and join any of the other available channels at your leisure. You can search through all the available channels whenever you want. To do that, click on the word channel right here, or channels. It will bring up a list of all the available channels, and you can search and scroll through that. And I will try to advertise occasionally what's available, and we'll certainly advertise any new channels that get created. That's the purpose of this channel here, the channels announce. Whenever I create a new channel that's public, I let everyone know here. The little plus sign right here next to the word channels is used to create a new channel. Right now I have the permission set that only admins can create public channels, but anyone can create private channels. These private channels are like the public channels, but users can't search for or discover them. They're by invitation only. They're useful as disposable rooms for events, quick small group discussions, or gossip. As an example, someone earlier today was talking about creating loads for short-barreled 380 ACPs. And when we discovered there were a few folks interested, the person created this private channel and invited those folks, and the discussion can continue. But this is not one of the main or public channels. And when that discussion's done, this private channel can be archived and will no longer exist. For the public channels, I tried to think of most things and topics that the reloading, casting, shooting crowd might be discussing, but I doubt most folks will end up wanting to join more than about a dozen of the channels, and which dozen will differ per person. Let's do a real quick run through the current list of public channels, and if you log in after a couple days, I'm sure this will be a little different. But admin notes. Right now, only administrators can post in here. I will do that very sparingly, but I can send a message to everybody in that channel. The channels announce, that's where new channels that you might be interested in are going to be announced. For the folks that want to discuss ballistics, there's a channel for that. There's a black powder, cast bullets, jacketed bullets, a support group for those stuck in the wonderful state of California. There are a few channels for cast bullets, one about bullet molds, coatings and lubes, equipment for casting, any mold group buy discussions, the process of bullet casting, any sort of charity and causes can be discussed here. Deal alerts. Earlier somebody put in a great deal on a rifle sale that's going on right now. Discussions of anything everyday carry, firearm discussions related to pistols, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, a gunsmithing channel, horse trading if you've got something you're looking to buy or looking to sell or trade, hunting discussions, knives and blades, milsurp, a channel for folks that are brand new to reloading. If you want to discuss politics and law, this is the place for you. Prepping, any questions or discussions about Slack and how to use it. If you want to talk about religion and faith, this is the place. any reloading equipment discussions, load development, reloading process, reloading shotgun. If you want to talk about 3-gun or just shooting competition in general, IDPA, IPSC, long range, cowboy action, trap skeet, sporting clays, steel challenge. If there are other shooting sports that need to be interested, I'll make a channel for those to give suggestions and feedback. If you want to talk about NFA items, user introductions can be done here. Water coolers talk about anything and everything you want. If you want to talk about YouTube in general, right now there's discussions going on in there about different types of video editing software. And then I've got a bunch of channels dedicated to specific YouTube channels. If you want to talk about Full Web Taco, here's the place to do it. And I will be happy to make more of these channels as people require or ask for. So that's what's out there right now, and I can certainly make more or change those to meet the needs of the crowd and what they want to talk about. With this construct and this setup, it's easy to stay away from the channels that cover topics that are not your thing. Do you all want to avoid political discussions? Then don't join the Politics and Law channel. Under the channels is the direct messages. Direct messages, or DMs, are private discussions between you and another person. They're like private channels, but you can't add or remove users. The conversations in direct messages are not public. FYI, you can talk with yourself here, but if the conversation turns the wrong direction, you have no one to blame but yourself. The big middle section right here is where the conversations happen. You can navigate to a channel like this, and the discussion for that channel is in this area. The more recent discussion will be at the bottom of the screen. This is where you'll find the messages and comments and threads, and for each new one you can respond to it with various types of reactions or comments of your own. I can post a message to this thread. I can react to it, and unlike the simple thumbs up, thumbs down of YouTube, I can add all sorts of reactions. If you go to this right here, you can start a thread. It says that's adding comments underneath. And you can see those over here on the side. Now, you don't see these in the big list, but if I select that, they will pop up over here. This is one of the differences of a forum. Adding those replies does not bump that comment to the most recent portion of the channel. So I just added a comment here to this. This increased from 2 to 3 replies, but it did not move this whole thing down here like you will see on a typical forum. And on each of these, if you select the 3 little dots, there are some other options here of things you can do. Down at the bottom, here's where you can type your messages to the world, and that works as you expect, but there are a couple of special characters here, and one of those characters is the @ symbol. If you type the @ symbol and start to type somebody's name, you can essentially tag that person, and it will help show up in their notifications and let you know that you are speaking to them. There are a couple of other things you can type after the @. In the admin notes channel, I can type the word everyone and it will send a notification to every user. I will use that very sparingly, and only administrators can use that. You're welcome. You can type @channel and it will notify everybody that is joined to this channel. I do ask that you use this sparingly if you use it at all. You can also type @here, and that will notify everybody that's online or online using desktop that's in this channel. It's like channel, but only for the people that are online, so it's a little less annoying. Now, just so you know, if you hit the up arrow or you select the menu options and hit edit, you can edit any post you put. And you can also delete your messages. If you delete a message that has replies, the replies will remain, but those can be deleted as well. Or edited. The free version of Slack, which we are using, has a 10,000 message limit. We can continue creating new messages once we hit the 10,000 mark, but the oldest messages will become unsearchable and not viewable. The price for the paid version is not something we'll ever consider. I think this limitation might actually be a good thing. This will force this to be a recent and current discussion platform, not a giant database/forum. I predict we'll get to a point where the available message history will only be 3 to 4 weeks old. This will result in some topics and discussions reoccurring at times, but will also prevent the 97-page forum threads that old hats insist you read before they'll answer any of your simple questions. We'll have a chat history, but only so much. It's a persistent chat, but not an archive of every message ever sent. It's a collaboration environment, not a library. I'm excited to see what this becomes, but fair warning, if you read or type a little gem that is pure genius, save it to someplace outside of Slack before it disappears with that 10,000 message limit. Let's head back up to the right-hand corner. We've talked about the little 3 dots. There's a search bar up here, and on a mobile device, it just looks like a magnifying glass. The search in Slack is very robust. You can search by keywords, date, user, all sorts of things. Since we're using the free version again, search will only work with the last 10,000 messages because that's all that's visible. This little eye with the circle around it right here will show channel details. And on the mobile, tapping on the name of the channel itself will give you these options. So you can edit, but each channel has a purpose that can be added to it. If there's any pinned items, this is where you'll find them. It'll give you a list of all of the members. If there's any shared files in that channel, you can find those here, and you can adjust the notification preferences for each channel if you'd like. Many of the same things can be seen under the current channel name. So if you select the name itself, there's a menu that drops down. And here you can invite members to join the channel that are not currently part of the channel. Again, you can adjust your notification preferences. You can mute all notifications from a channel. And if you're in something other than admin notes, you can also select leave the channel. So if you're joined a channel that you no longer want to be, you can leave it very simply by selecting the channel name and coming down and saying leave that channel. The bell right here will allow you to adjust notification settings, and I suggest you take a look at that. But let's look at several preferences real quick. We edited the profile earlier, but here you can edit your status. Now, these statuses that are pre-configured here, I just took a 30-second stab at those. If these mean something to you, I'm happy to change the pre-configured, but you can also add a custom status. You can type in here and you can put a little icon in here for whatever you want your status to be. Here you can adjust your profile and your account, and then here are preferences. You can set yourself to be away, and you can get help and feedback. That's from Slack, not from me. There's an option here to invite people. This is inviting people using their email address to join us at reloading.slack.com. And if you're on a mobile device, that invite people option is actually under the 3 dots in the right-hand corner under the directory. Feel free to invite people that you know will want to participate. And if you do, you'll probably want to point them to this video to help get their account set up. Let's take a look at the preferences. First, let's take a look at notifications. When you sign into Slack for the first time, basically every type of notification imaginable is enabled, and it can be a little much. I suggest you adjust your notification settings, or this thing will quickly drive you nuts. Also, you can set and adjust your do not disturb hours on this page. Take a look at the other options on this page. Let's take a look at messages and media. The settings in here will adjust how the discussion area of the application appears and is formatted. Sidebar, there are a couple of gems in here. This contains one of my favorite settings. If you change appearance from everything to one of the two unreads, you see how all that clutter just disappeared over here on the side? This, I see every channel that I'm subscribed to. By listing just unreads, I only see the channels that I am subscribed to that have unread items in them. And by doing that, the left side becomes far less cluttered. This setting only really affects the desktop and the browser version, not the mobile apps. If you enable this, you'll want to know about the quick channel switcher right here. Turning that on turns this option right here that says jump to on, and there are some hotkeys that will do the same thing, and I'll show you what that does in just a minute. Basically, if you enable this and you want to get to a channel that's not currently listed here, you can hit that jump to or hit the Control K, I think it's Command K on a Mac, and start to type in the name of the channel you want to get to and jump there, even though you don't see it over here. Another thing you're going to want to change, theme. The default of purple over here starts to burn the eyes after a while. Luckily, you can change the colors in the application to your heart's content, and these color changes apply to the mobile app, the desktop app, all of them. You change it one time and it is in effect in all those places. There are some other settings in here that I suggest you take a look at, but I'll leave that up to you to explore. So as you can see right now, I'm in the Channels Announce channel. When I go to one of these channels over here that has unread content in it, and then navigate away from this, see the Channels Announce right here? There's nothing unread in it anymore, so it goes away. And here, there are several posts since I was in here last time, and now I've read them, and now that goes away. But let's say I want to go back to that Channels Announce. Even though there's nothing unread and I can't see it, I can go here and in the jump to, I can start to type, hey, there it is. And I can jump back to it even though I didn't see it over here on the side. That's what this jump to or the Control K will do for you. So you can really clean up what's going on over here by reading all of your unreads. And then this will allow you to get to channels that you're joined to but currently have read everything. If that doesn't all make sense, you can leave it so all channels are listed, and that works as well. Adjusting it this way, though, helps clear up some of that clutter. You'll notice on a couple of these, there's a little circle with a number in it. That little circle means that somebody in one of those unread comments has made some sort of reference to me, typed at loads of bacon type of thing. So that lets me know that not only is there something in here that's unread, but there's something in here that's unread that references me. So log into Slack, set up your profile the way you want it, explore the available channels, and choose which channels you want to be a part of. Again, select channels, pick the ones you want, explore it. You can actually see the channel without joining it. Join the ones that you really want. Adjust your preferences and options to meet your needs, and then jump into the conversations with this awesome community of like-minded folks. If you're having issues, feel free to ask. We're certainly not here to play Stump the Chump. Already we're having some great discussion, and folks really seem to be enjoying it. And if you have any suggestions on how to change it or configure it to better meet all of our needs, I'm all ears. Please let me know. I want that feedback. So, thank you, and God bless.